Good afternoon. Thanks for being with us. You're with the news here on Mirror Now. My name is Apurva Sridhar. Let's get you all the updates now coming in. The centre has now issued guidelines for conducting the RT-PCR-based pool sample testing. Now, the sample of 25 people will be identified and the throat and the nasal swab will be collected. Now, in this particular test, if all the 25 samples that will be tested are positive, then individual testing will be done. However, if the pool is found to be negative, the all individual samples in this pool will also be counted as negative. Now, this method is going to be used for the migrant workers and for all those who have returned from abroad, and also for the surveillance in the green zones. Let me bring in my colleague Ayushman for further understanding on this. Ayushman, first of all, for the benefit of our viewers, help us understand what exactly is the RT-PCR pool-based sample testing.
Apurva, RT-PCR pool-based sampling is the method where more than 5 samples are collected as per the ICMR advisory on April 13. This was given as an alternate method because we did not have ample number of kits at that time. Now this method has been enhanced for the surveillance method. The RT-PCR test is now being conducted on 25 samples. These samples will be collected from the institutional quarantine facilities which are there functioning in several states where the migrant workers have been kept, where the international returnees have come. And these in this RT-PCR based pooling sample process, Apurva, 25 people who are asymptomatic will be selected, and then they will be their samples will be collected. Nasal swab and throat swab will be collected, and RT-PCR will be conducted. If the test comes out to be negative, the individual's sample won't be tested again. But if it comes out to be positive, all these samples will be tested once again. Now, it is basically for Purva the surveillance process. So the question is, can more than 5 samples be tested? We talked to ICMR authorities. They said this is for the surveillance based because we know the prevalence of COVID-19 in the areas is already less. And for that reason, only green zones have been included, the places from where from past 21 days, no cases have come.
All right. All right, Ayushman, many thanks for joining us and bringing us all those updates. Let me also introduce our guests who are joining us on this broadcast for further understanding and perspective of the guidelines that have now been issued in this regard. I have Dr. Rakesh Mishra, who's the director for the Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology from Hyderabad, and also Dr. Raj Panda, public health specialist, who's joining us. Many thanks for speaking to us and sharing your views and taking time out for this. Let me first go across to Dr. Rakesh Mishra for further understanding of this process. Dr. Mishra, first of all, help us understand what is going to be the benefit of the test, the RT-PCR-based pool sampling tests that are being conducted at a time when we're looking at a large number of cases that are coming to light.
The very simple thing is that you can do large number and with less cost. So like for example, in Telangana state, we are pooling 5 samples together, which means if we get 100 samples, we do only 20 tests. And if anything in 20 is positive, we go by and test those 5 more. So if the occurrence is 1%, 2%, then at the best you will have to repeat 1 or 2 pools later. So in 25 or 30 tests, you can give the result of 100 people with perfect numbering who is negative, who is positive. So that is the immediate benefit, and ICMR has given advisory, and we are doing here in districts where the occurrence of cases is less than 2% or 3%. So if the occurrence is more, then it doesn't help, because let's see if occurrence is 10%, then in 20 pool you have to go back and again test maybe up to 10 more pools. So then it becomes 70, 80 out of 100. So it doesn't help much. So if occurrence is low, then the pooling of the sample is good. In our experience, pooling up to 5 is certain to pick any positive. But if you are pooling 10, 15, maybe one positive in 10, 15, you might miss out, especially when the viral loads are low. So that is one thing, unless we employ even more sensitive technologies which are possible but not at the moment being used in my knowledge.
All right, Dr. Mishra, request you to stay with us at this point. Let me also take that point across to Dr. Raj Panda, public health specialist, who is also joining us. Dr. Panda, as we were just speaking and as you just heard Dr. Mishra also outlining the benefits and also certain concerns, what according to you, or how efficient, what is the kind of efficacy of these tests, and are there really any concerns surrounding the tests that are being conducted?
Yeah, I think taking up from where Dr. Mishra said, I think the national protocol proposed actually could be a starting point for a discussion about how group testing could be done and adding on more sensitive tests as we go along. Now, obviously, we know that shrinking the pool group size will logically reduce the inaccuracy rates, and we don't want to have large numbers of population in the pool, which could significantly have false positive and false negatives, which basically means that you are actually letting up people who are positive, but also scaring off other people into staying at home that you do not need to do so. So there have been studies both in the US and Germany and Israel, and they looked at large samples. But I think the first thing to remember, as Dr. Mishra is saying, it's very important for us to actually look at the infection rate. And considering the fact that most of India has a less infection rate, at least at the best, to the best of my knowledge and the best of scientific evidence right now, I think this is a great opportunity to really use a very cost-effective tool to screen people. The purpose of surveillance is actually to screen people and to find out whether we can resume normal activities or not. And I think ICMR has rightly recommended that we only start with places which have very low prevalence, and then move on to larger areas when we have more. So, answering your question, is it more efficacy? They have already tested it, but again, this is not FDA approved as of now. So, as I said in my beginning, this could be the start of a conversation where we could start doing this in low areas, test and retest again, and then ramp up to other areas where we may think that there are more infections.
All right, Dr. Panda, request you to stay with us at this point. On that account, let me also bring in Dr. Mishra on this for further understanding on this. Dr. Mishra, you've pointed out about the benefits of this, but also there are concerns, as you pointed out. Now, we understand there are 25 samples that the government is looking at testing. Do you think perhaps the sample size needs to be reduced in order to get a more accurate and a concrete result?
Yes, so if you are using the same method of sample collection, which means the swab in 3 milliliters of VTM, you cannot be sure that if one is positive in 25, you are going to pick it. We have analyzed this in the lab. So to make this more effective, you have to do few things. Right now, in the 3 ml VTM, when we collect swab and we are going to pool, if you are pooling more than 5, you are running the risk of giving false negatives, which means 1 or 2 positive in 25 will go undetected, because particularly when the viral counts are low and asymptomatic cases, it might be more possible. So there are few things that one can do. For instance, you can collect samples not on 3 ml, but in 1 ml. So that way you are going to increase the concentration of the virus threefold. So you can then maybe go up to 10 or 15, I will say, at the best, pooling in one go. So first you have to reduce the volume in which you are collecting the virus so that you have more concentration, and therefore you can pool more, and that is how you can increase the efficiency. Currently in 3 ml VTM, this is a risky thing to do. But if it is 1 ml, then you can pool up to 15, and that is a great advantage, because then 100 sample will be tested in just 5-6 pools. 5-6 test, if they are all negative, you will be saying with certainty they are all negative. So that is a good thing, but then we have to make some changes in the sample collection also. Otherwise, in the current situation, 5 is the safe we have found in our study, and in Telangana, that's what we have implemented as per the ICMR guidelines and as per state government's acceptance.
All right, Dr. Mishra, stay with us. Dr. Panda, this is actually important because according to the guidelines, we are looking at this test to be conducted on the migrant workers. the international passengers who are in institutional quarantine who have returned, and also in the green zones. Do you perhaps feel right now, with the number of cases increasing, the scope of the testing needs to be increased and not just limited to these three groups, but it should also be extended to the asymptomatic patients right now?
Yeah, I mean, the whole testing is also in asymptomatic patients. I mean, even in whether you're looking at migrant laborers or you're looking at, so we are looking at people who are at risk, right? And that's why we do surveillance. So group testing is important because of various things that Dr. Mishra has already talked about. I think also let us remember that this is not a very easy test to do, and it will require a lot of expertise, as well as, one has to be very careful about making sure that the contamination of samples doesn't happen, transport and so on. So given the fact, I think it may be pragmatic to start with these areas right now and then go on to the green zones in a graded manner, rather than, open up everything and, later on find out, these tests are not really what they're supposed to do. So this is really a public health, I believe really a great public health response, because we have done quite good in our lockdown, and now we need to have a very good strategy for opening up the green zones as we go along.
Okay. So a good strategy, a robust strategy is what really is required at this point to contain the situation and to amp up the testing as much as possible. Dr. Mishra, also, there have been instances and concerns rather, in many cases we have seen those who were tested positive, they recovered, and then after a couple of days or probably a few weeks, they again were tested positive of coronavirus. Now, there have been instances of such relapse, of reoccurrence. Can the RT-PCR pool-based testing in any way help in early detection of these reoccurrence of coronavirus?
No, I don't think there is much link in that. This is one mysterious thing about this virus, is that even if people have recovered, there is no any symptom, but for several weeks they continue to have the virus load. So in fact, like for example, in Telangana state alone, there are 10% of the cases which are having the viral load, although their symptom is gone, they have fully recovered. So, and what you are saying is somebody became negative and then next person became positive. I find it surprising. If there is a possibility that the test that was done maybe something didn't work, and although one would not like that to happen, but it's very weird that within a week or so you again get the person positive with the virus. But it can happen. That is not a good news. That means either the person got free of virus without the antibody response, something else worked, and so there was no immunity against the virus, and or the virus doesn't care about the immunity and it can reinfect, which is not well established. There are lots of indication that second infection is not that common, and some animal model is being tested to be protective once the person or the animal is infected. So I would not make much comment on that, because that needs to be carefully investigated. How the person got first time tested negative and second time tested positive. Having said that, as I mentioned, it is known that even the people who have recovered, they carry on having the virus for 2, 3, 4 weeks. That is something of scientific interest. One has to figure out what it is.
All right, Dr. Rakesh Mishra and Dr. Raj Panda, many thanks for taking time out and helping us understand those intricate details and what this really means and the benefits of it. Many thanks for joining us and sharing your views on this.